Doctor, I let you go. Hello YouTube, it is I, Davros, and I am a Whovian. So, yes, first and last reviews, and this is definitely the first of the last reviews, as we are now up to date with the 12th Doctor. But I have the first adventure from him to review, and then the last adventure, so let's get to it. So, for the 12th Doctor's debut, it is Deep Breath. So, taking off from when the time of the Doctor ended, and the Doctor, Peter Capaldi, was in his post-regeneration state, his head was all over the place, and there was a T-Rex stamping around in London, because after the Doctor regenerated, the TARDIS had a bit of a malfunction and fell through time and ended up taking a T-Rex to Victorian London. But luckily, the Doctor has the help of the Paternoster gang, Madame Vastra, Jenny and Strax, with Clara. So, basically, Clara is trying to come to terms with the Doctor's regeneration, whilst clockwork droids are at work in London, Victorian London. And of course, they're harnessing any organic materials as possible to become people. And they can detect you by your breath. So, hence the title, you have to take a deep breath in to protect yourself. Okay, let's get on to my likes and dislikes about this. First of all, I liked Capaldi in this. Although he spoke in riddles at first and didn't know what he was, I like the fact that he noticed his face, that he's seen that face before, and that he's had it, and he knew that before, because we later find out that he chose that face to remind him to never give up saving and that. But yeah, back to the deep breath. I liked as well Madame Vastra, and yeah, I just loved the Paternoster gang. I loved how Madame Vastra, she was aware of this and she guided Clara through. And like I say, the companion represents like us, the humans, in the show. And you know, I mean, I got my head around this quite quickly, because I absolutely thought Capaldi was perfect for this role, and he was. Also, there was a cameo from the husband of Elizabeth Sladen, who played Sarah Jane Smith. He played a homeless man in it, who who sold his coat to the Doctor. I also like the comedicness in this that Strax brought to the show. You know, to the episode and that, because he's a funny Centauran. And I also loved, yeah, I just loved everything about this episode. It was a good season premiere, you know, and I think, you know, basically, the regeneration, you know, after effects and that kind of went a little bit back to the 5th Doctor's run, when he was a bit dazed and confused and exhausted by the change. But you know, he didn't spend 4 episodes getting over it and that. You know, he pretty much got over the whole regeneration in the final act of this episode, when he went face to face with the half-faced droid guy thing. Also, I liked Missy in it, and now I didn't know who she was at first, because it was the series. It was the start of a series, and the build up to who she was going to, you know, build up, you know, throughout the series, and we did find out who she was, that she was the Master. But back onto this, I also like the cameo from Matt Smith. Now, a lot of people thought that brief moment where Clara's on the phone to the 11th Doctor, minutes before his regeneration, a lot of people found that unnecessary. I didn't. I actually thought that was quite nice. You know, like the Doctor reassuring Clara that it's still him and everything, and that. And yeah, I just like that brief moment. Like, we got to say goodbye properly, like, once again to the 11th Doctor. And that. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think Capaldi will do for me. So, yes, Peter Capaldi's Doctor. So, yeah, I thought it was a good episode. So, final thoughts and ratings. I enjoyed Deep Breath. I liked how it just, yeah, it was a good start to the 8th series, and, you know, kind of genuinely brought us into the 12th Doctor era. Okay, so with all that being said, I think I'll give Deep Breath a 3.5 out of 5. So now we go to the last part of the show, and it most certainly is. Let's do it. And now, the finale. The final story of the 12th Doctor, and that is Twice Upon a Time. So, pretty much taking off when two stories came to an end. The ending of Series 10, The Doctor Falls, and the ending of, well, part of the ending of the 10th planet. So, we get a look at the 10th planet, what previously happened, and we have a brief appearance from William Hartnell before it goes into colour and becomes David Bradley. And then next thing we have this captain, World War I captain from World War I. And also it's Christmas time and we have the return of Bill as a glass-like alien. So, in this one we also, both doctors have to make the choice whether they want to go through with their regenerations or not. And of course, all time freezes because of this whole thing going on. So, we also get to see old Rusty, what happened to him, the Dalek from Into the Dalek. But yeah, we get a brief moment from the Daleks when they're out of their shells. And also, we find out who the captain is, played by Mark Gatiss. And yeah, so yeah, this is like a fun finale. Well, not a finale, but a good ending for a good era of the Doctor. So let's get on to my likes with this. So first of all, I loved David Bradley as the first Doctor. He played William Hartnell in the docudrama around the 50th anniversary special, An Adventure in Space and Time. And obviously, he came back and did the first Doctor in Twice Upon a Time. And I liked that. I liked David Bradley as the first Doctor. He did a good job in this. And I just loved his performance in it. Although it wasn't William Hartnell, he brought the illusion of William Hartnell back, and that's what I liked about that. I also liked how Bill didn't just come back for a cameo. She came back, you know, to see the Doctor one last time. Obviously, she didn't become human again after travelling around with Heather. She had her memories copied and put into this artificial glass robot. And apparently that's what happens to everyone when you die in the Whoniverse. They freeze time from the moment you're about to die, and then they put your a copy of your artificial memories in a glass robot or something. Kind of like heaven, in a way. So yeah, I like that they brought Bill back for one last show, and how Mark Gatiss was in it as a World War I captain, and we're like there thinking, who is he? What's he got to do with all this? But it's very, very good on who he turned out to be. Now, I'm going to assume that this isn't a spoiler for now because, well, the Christmas special, I'm assuming everyone must have watched it, and it's like February now, so yeah, he turned out to be Captain Archibald Lethbridge Stewart, the grandfather of Alistair Lethbridge-Stewart, who is the Brigadier. And of course, if you know the show as well as I do, you know the Brigadier was a good friend of the Doctor's. And the character, Captain Stewart, did ask the Doctors if he wouldn't mind keeping an eye on his family. And I know that is a promise the Doctor definitely kept. I also like how the First Doctor accepted his fate in the end, saying to himself he's ready, but wants to know if the 12th Doctor was ready. And he told him that he will find out the long way around. For us it wasn't the long way around, but for him it was. And I also, I liked how it tied in with the 10th planet again. The First Doctor's regeneration. For the first time in over 50 years, we were treated to the First Doctor's regeneration back on air for the first time in a long time, when it went back to the 10th planet and we saw David Bradley go back into black and white and become William Hartnell, and then just see that regeneration. That was, great. I like that. I also loved, I thought the cameo from Clara was okay, as a glass robot thing. I thought her cameo was alright, but, was it necessary? I wouldn't think so. But I loved the final, cameo from Nardal, played by Matt Lucas. I loved Nardal, and I would have hated it if we said goodbye to him in The Doctor Falls like that. But no, we got one last cameo from him, and, I loved the quick little banter he had with Bill and the Doctor, and they all had a huddle at the end, hugged one another, and said goodbye. So I like that. I like that a lot. It was emotional for me too. Also, turns out Archibald Lethbridge-Stewart didn't die, because it turned out to be Christmas Day 1914 for him. And that, of course, Christmas Day 1914 in World War One, they all stopped fighting for the day and played football and sang Christmas carols, which I thought was nice. Shame they didn't do it again. But yeah, I loved this episode greatly. I recently bought it on DVD and haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I watched it like a week later in the new year on BBC iPlayer, and yeah, I still loved this episode. It was a great send-off for Capaldi, and for once we didn't actually have a proper villain in it. We actually, the Doctor wasn't actually trying to save the universe or anything. It was just like the Doctor, like the First Doctor needed guidance, like to accept his, change, and the 12th Doctor needed the help of the First Doctor. So yeah, I also love the final scene with Capaldi. His final scene when he made that speech, preparing the 13th Doctor for what she should do and everything. Never be cruel, never be cowardly, and never eat pears. And that hate is foolish and love is wise and all that stuff. Then his final words, "Doctor, I let you go," before shooting out in beams and then seeing his eyes morph from Capaldi to Jodie Whittaker. And I loved that final scene with her, when she was like in the TARDIS looking around, and then next thing looked at her face and wasn't actually shocked. She actually said in a strong Yorkshire accent, "Oh, brilliant." And I'm glad she's keeping her Yorkshire accent, because, well, I just am. And even though her Doctor fell from the TARDIS and was heading down to Earth and it was to be continued, obviously it's not going to be the end of the show, because she's going to find a way out of that pickle, and then she's going to, just get back on the TARDIS, and then in the Series 11 premiere, which I've been told is feature length, about an hour long, she's going to recover from her regeneration. The TARDIS is going to rebuild itself because it got damaged, and we're going to meet the new companions, Graham and Yasmin, and what was the other guy? I can't remember his name now, but we're going to be treated to 3 companions. And it's going to pretty much be like the 5th Doctor era, where the 5th Doctor had 3 companions. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Series 11 and the Chris Chibnall era. I'm confident that Chris Chibnall's made the right call with the Doctor casting her and everything. And I look forward to Series 11. And I can't wait to watch it and then review it with all you guys on here. So yes. Oh, one dislike on this episode. I didn't like the recreations of Ben and Polly in the opening scene. I thought their acting was flat and yeah, I don't know what went wrong there with them. They just didn't sound as enthusiastic or out. Other than that, I loved this episode. I loved how Capaldi, let himself go, let the 12th Doctor, his version just go. And I like how Jodie Whittaker ended it. So, final thoughts and ratings. Well, I'm just giving you my final thoughts. I'm giving Twice Upon a Time. Do you know what? This is easy for me. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. So this has been my first and last reviews, and thank you so much for watching. And yeah. Well, that has been first and last reviews of Doctor Who, of every Doctor. I did think about doing the War Doctor, but I think I might save that for another series of reviews that I'm thinking of doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the first and last reviews. Let me know down in the comments, have you seen any of the 12th Doctor's adventures? I'm sure you have. Also, if you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to share with your friends. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. All my social media links are down below in the description. So, oh, and you can also watch every first and last review linked on the playlist at the end of this video. So until next time, run for your life. Nah, that's not sitting. Ah, there we go.